Welcome back to Warner Studios. My name is John, and in this week's video we will go over how I solved the health system for Sou'wester winds. The health system is actually something I already reworked a couple of times, because as the project grew I noticed that what I already did no longer worked, and one of the main factors was the multiplayer aspect. When that came into play, I noticed that a lot of things need to change, especially with the health management. The health system is made up of many components. The first of which is the weapon. The weapon carries all the attributes of the weapon, of course, and one of these attributes is the bullet. So if I shoot, then that bullet is instantiated and flies through space. Then when it hits, it looks if that collider has a script I called HMod, so health modification. If it has that script on it, and it's actually made that a player, for example, has many different colliders for the arms, head, chest, which then have different HMods, which we will see why this is important later on. But anyway, as said, it gets that HMod script, which has health effector scriptable objects attached to it. And in these health effectors I can actually set quite a lot of things. In Sou'wester winds I have different damage types. One of them, for example, are resources. Those have their own damage types, so that the multi-tool, for example, is especially effective for resources. So with these health modifiers I can also set a base modifier. For example, for the head of the player I have that set higher than by default. Also, with the player I have made him a little bit more weak towards energy damage, because he's a robot and is powered by energy, so energy damage is a little bit more effective against him. And these modifiers allow me to build in a really modular way how I want the damage to apply to an enemy. So we have now the damage that's passed from the bullet to the HMod. Then the HMod uses the H effectors to calculate the effective damage the character will take. And then it passes it on to the eye health change, which is an interface, so I can implement the eye health change wherever I want. So I have it, for example, for the enemies, but also for the harvestable. And those scripts can be severely different, but still, well, I can use the same function to call the damage change. And for a simple enemy, that's already it. The damage gets applied and that's it. Because enemies are directly synchronized on the network, so the damage is directly synchronized from the enemy itself. But with the harvestables it gets a little bit more complicated, because I have maybe 1,000 trees in my game, so I don't want to have each of those trees to have a network instance. So what I did, I have one manager, which is a network instance. And this manager takes care or gives an ID to each tree, for example. Then when I have a health change, I basically pass that to the manager, and including the ID, and then the manager knows what to do from there and takes care for the synchronizing, and then sends it back to all the clients and also myself to actually change it. And with that I can, well, damage 1,000 trees and stuff like that without really, well, making the network die. Yeah, and well, as you can see now here, that's basically it. We can walk up to a tree, and using the pistol or the multi-tool we can make damage. And when the tree dies, he vanishes at the moment. I will add some animations there, and yeah, the items are dropped, which I can't pick up at the moment, but that will be what I work on next week. And with that all said, thank you very much for watching, and I hope I see you next time. Bye!